I am addicted to my phone, and I can only assume that you're watching this because you are too. But that's all right, because we're not the only ones. And while it's unlikely that you're in public like I am right now, next time you're out in public, look around at the people around you. I bet you at least one of them are on their phones. Every concert you go to, every public transportation system, even at the beach. The beach, the open pit of sand with water and the sun. Yeah, people are on their phones there. I was curious how many people self-claim to be phone addicts, so I searched it. And I'm in disbelief by the results. I can only imagine the number being much greater. I mean, think about the people that weren't surveyed. Wait, hold on, I wasn't surveyed. Where do these surveys even happen? I bet you weren't surveyed either. Even though these devices are quite small, their impact can be quite detrimental. Now, I'm personally not a fan of being addicted to my phone, so I dedicated a week to try to fix that. Before I explain how the week went and the lessons I learned spending the entire week off my phone, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, which made doing this so much easier, Opal. All right, so Opal is an app that gives you the control to set your parameters of what apps you do and don't want to block or allow access for. So in my case, I set up a 24-hour deep focus session so that I could block my apps for an entire week, except for iMessages and phone calls in case of emergencies. Now you may think that's cheating, but I had some insurance things to take care of because my car got stolen here, so I hope you can give me a break in that aspect. But anyways, thank you, Opal, for helping me bring this idea to life. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get to the 5 things I learned and some positive takeaways. One positive is that you discover yourself more. Now, what do I mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Us humans can be innately, easily influenced by our environment. So if you are taking in things that are negative, you're most likely gonna start thinking negatively. The way that I think about this is more, you are what you consume. So if you choose to read good books or spend more time in nature, then you will get to know yourself better and start to learn the way that your brain works without external influences. Because it's easy to get lost in the sauce of the internet and neglect actually thinking for yourself. Because if you are what you consume and all you're doing is consuming, then your thoughts are not actually yours, but someone else's. So the more time that you get to know all parts of yourself, including the good, the bad, and the ugly, the more time you can actually start to become friends with yourself. You want some? Nah, I'm all right, thanks. All right. Actually, yeah, I will take some. Number 2, more time on your hands or more opportunity to make or break habits. Maybe a bad habit you have is grabbing your phone first thing in the morning when you wake up. Perfect. No need to check that anymore. Maybe you have a bad habit of using social media at times or places that you don't need to. Boop. Eliminated. Or maybe you just want to make a habit of reading more, but you just don't have the time. Oh yeah? What's your screen time? What is it? Because take that time and put that into page time, and you'll get yourself 100 books a year, easy. No, but really, the days are long and there's a multitude of things that you could do that are productive that you can replace your time with. Reading just led to the most positive and peaceful results for me.
Number 3, and this one isn't necessarily scientifically proven, but I found that my senses were heightened and that I was more emotionally in tune with my body and mind. I noticed that when I was on my runs, I tended to smell the flowers or any other smells that were in the air more prominently. Or when I was eating food, the taste and pleasure derived was more prevalent, which enhanced the entire experience. I even noticed that when I listened to music after my week off my phone, I felt more moved by it and it hit harder. Super awesome to not constantly take a hit to my dopamine receptors over and over again because they seriously needed a break. Number 4, when you stay off your phone, you are literally healing your body and your mind physiologically.
The reason why your urges are so strong are because your dopamine receptors are fried and they need time and space to rewire and reset to their baseline state. So, the more time that passes that you're not giving into your urges, the more that you are telling your brain, I don't need to use this thing in order to function properly. And that is great for your mental health. So view each valuable moment that passes as a precious healing process for your brain.
Number 5, time moves forward whether we're using it productively or not.
Now this one can be scary depending on how you've been using your time up to now, but I genuinely believe that as much as life is short, it is also very long,
if you live in the moment and live in the present. And when you stop living vicariously through a screen, through other people's lives, but rather start having your own experiences, that's when you start to see a change in your own life. So yeah, those are some things that I experienced, and I don't want to act like it's all sunshine and rainbows while doing this experiment. There are definitely a few negatives or hardships that I faced along the way. Like, to be honest, when you're so used to being overstimulated, sometimes things are a little dimmer than what you're used to seeing on a screen. You know, a lot of us are so used to being flooded with inspiration and information on the internet that when you're not being thrown all those things, you have to rely on your surroundings, and that can be more challenging. So it teaches you patience, which is a good thing. And also, in my experience, I had actual feelings of withdrawal almost. I had my moments where not being able to use my phone when I had an urge led to brain fog or a lack of clarity. It made it hard to focus and get things done. But I truly believe that's just a short-term effect, and long-term these things would eventually come back to me. So I'm excited to do this challenge again sometime when I have a little bit more time on my hands and reap a little bit more of the benefits that come with it. And another fair warning of doing this is, to be honest, it can be pretty lonely and isolating. It's important to make sure that you keep in touch with the people that you love most and love you most, and try to branch out and go to in-person events. Make sure that you stay connected with the people that matter to you. But upon reflection of the entire experience, I definitely could say that I recommend doing this to anyone that wants to give it a try. A lot of the times our own willpower isn't enough to give us the strength to be able to do things like this, because we only have so much willpower to give. That's why I highly recommend using the resources that we are gifted with this weapon that is also a tool. Opal was the perfect app for me to make sure that I stayed off my phone without it feeling like a chore, but more like a privilege. And if you decide that you want to use it, I will be putting my 30-day referral code in the description if you want to check that out. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I just don't want to have this addiction anymore. So if this sounds like something of interest to you, I recommend you give it a shot. And I just want to help others realize that they can overcome any addiction that they have as well. And it feels like a part of my mission to help people do the same and cure their addiction, because real life is worth living, not through a screen, but as a playground. So go make the world your playground.